and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm CatTransGamer, and this video is basically for those that are dealing with a lot of crashes over and over again. Things that might help out in the cleaning it up a little bit so you have less crashes. And one of the first places you want to go is you want to come over here to the tracking station. I mean, I've got objects right here. On the landing pad, I can clean those up. That will help out. But if I also go to the tracking station, you'll notice I got quite a few flights already in progress. I put up 4 separate satellites, around Kerbin. Not that many. But if you look right here, you see how it says toggle debris? Turn that on. And look, I've got debris right here. What you can do is you can terminate debris flights. Because what's happening is the computer, your PlayStation, is having to literally operate and figure out calculations for all this debris from you launching rockets, crashing ships and everything in orbit. Anything that is currently in the game playing has to be calculated out every time. So if we can take and terminate these, like if I come down here, this is a plane I just crashed. If I go ahead and hit fly, you'll see I've got all these plane parts sitting around. I've got a motor over here. I've got a landing gear, 2 landing gear, some I-beams, and a big section of the fuselage right there. Well, this is all individually counted right now. Each one of these, that's right there, what, 4, 5 different parts. That makes 6 different parts that the computer's having, 6 different spaceships now, basically. Because one piece of debris is calculated as one ship. The only time it's all calculated as one ship is like in this wing assembly. You've got all these parts here. The ship's able to the computer's able to calculate it all at once. So if we go in here and we just hit recover on all these, and all we got to do is just, if it's on the ground, you got to recover it. If it's in space, you got to terminate it. Or if it's flying, you got to terminate it. Now, these satellites, if you're not using the satellite anymore, like here, this right here is actually, yeah. This is the actual object that I wanted flying. It's actually only 3 satellites I got here. This is the satellite here. This is just part of it. The reason it says it's a probe is because it has a like a Probodyne probe body attached to the engine. And I'll show you that in a second. But what you can do is, like, these comm satellites, I don't need them anymore. So I terminate them. Or you can, if it's something that has scientific data on it, you can recover it. But as you can see, this, it says it's a probe, but what use is this? I mean, all it is we've got this QBE Probodyne probe body here, a stack decoupler, an empty round fuel tank, a semi-empty tank here. We could, if we wanted to, deorbit this thing. So let's go ahead and, why can't I control this? Oh, the battery's dead, huh? Yeah. So I don't even think I can turn on the thrust on this thing. Yeah. Because it has no batteries. This thing's completely dead. Can't use it. It's pretty much pointless, but taking up game space. What I was going to try to do was see if I can deorbit this, but I don't have the option now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Space Center. Back into the tracking station. And I will go ahead and terminate it. Basically taking out anything I don't need in the game anymore. If I've used it, it's good. Now look at there, toggle debris gone. Actually, if we go, in order to reset these so they say 0 across the board like this, you have to leave this tracking station and come back. So yeah, when you're doing these launches to say like MUN or something like that, you'll actually be quite amazed at how many parts you end up leaving in orbit. So let's see here. Kerbal X. Let's see this one, I think. Yeah, there you go. Now, we'll go ahead and launch this thing real quick, and I'll give you an idea of what we're talking about. If it's in a suborbital flight, it will burn up when it comes back into the atmosphere. And we got Lisfi here, Kerman, because unfortunately there were sub-Kermans harmed in the making of this video. So the original crew is no longer with us. They kind of crashed in that debris that you saw scattered across the field. But anyways, let me go ahead and show you this. Now you got your craft launching, and as you drop stuff off, so like these solid booster rockets, we drop them off, they're going to well, actually, let's get to the point where they're actually dropping off. Come on. This one's actually a little annoying to launch because it does wobble like this a lot. SAS control on it's very touchy. And it's just because of how much thrust we've got. We've got these two little engines thrusting here. The solid booster rockets, and then those little engines there are thrusting. And it's off center of balance. The center of mass versus the center of thrust is off a little bit. But once you start gaining altitude, so there, those solid booster rockets, once we get to about, I think it's 20,000 meters away from those solid booster rockets, they'll automatically delete anything you launch in the game, in the atmosphere of Kerbin. Once you hit about 20,000 meters, once it's detached and you hit about 20,000, 25,000 meters away from it, the game automatically deletes that debris. So that's a nice little thing for helping save some fuel and stuff, but okay. Let's go ahead and add a basic maneuver, get us into a stable orbit. I'm going to tell her to track the maneuver node and warp to the next location. Well, it's nice because we got an experienced pilot in here. We're able to tell her to track the maneuver node, so we can just let it go and she'll automatically rotate the craft around to that maneuver node. I'm not even touching the controller right now, I'm just letting her do it. That's what's nice about the experienced pilots. But I'm going to go ahead and throttle up early here just to get this done. Alright, so now we're in orbit. Let's go ahead and drop the fuel tank. Now those are using the monopropellant motors. And then we've got this final motor right here for when we come back down. We've got a turbofan that'll use up the last of the liquid fuel on here, because we've got liquid fuel but we don't have any oxidizer. All the oxidizer was in that fuel tank right there. But since we dropped that off in space and it's in a stable orbit around Kerbin, that item will float around over and over and over again. And let's see if I can switch to it. No, it doesn't want to switch to. Now look, if I've now got one more piece of debris in there. Oops. And if we turn off this command module, you'll see the one piece of debris right there. So completely useless, uncontrollable. We can't do anything with it. So it's pretty much a pointless object now. We can't do anything with it, SAS. So the only thing I would suggest doing with this is terminating the flight. And you can only do that from the Space Center. So that's all I've got to say, really. I mean, that's really all we can do on the PlayStation as far as trying to improve the performance of the game so it will crash less. Some of the crashes are caused when you're in the vehicle assembly building and you've got some ridiculous kind of build going on underneath this. And you do something like, let's see here. Let's go ahead and plop 8 of those down. Well, hold on. So, no, I did want that. But yeah, when you got... And then you put 8 of these. And then you grab it again. See, look at this. Now it won't even... I've hit max part. It would sit there and cause it too many parts. So we'll go ahead and delete that and just do a fuel tank. But look at the tops there. Look how many... I went from what? 82 to 146? Just by doing that? Doing stuff like that will overload the game and cause crashes. So you want to be careful on your builds and make sure you're not trying to add too many parts in sequence, in symmetry at the same time. There is a limit to how much that thing can handle. So I'm CatTransGamer, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!